So, good evening everyone. Welcome to the course on Introduction to Multimodal Urban Transportation Systems, that is MUTS, and the course code is CE70 as per the SWAYAM portal. So the instructor of the course is Dr. Orkopal Goswami from IIT Kharagpur. And so the session conducted by me, I am Suman Ganguly, a research scholar from IIT Kharagpur. So this is the interaction session week 0, that is dry run, right? So now the basic focus and agenda of conducting this weekly interactive session is to bridge the gap of interaction in online learning, right? So generally what happens in any online course that is offered worldwide, so there are less interaction between the teachers and the students, which actually happens in the classroom, right? So as far as we need to reduce the gap so that the learning process becomes easier and it will be the students will get more involved in this process, right? So basically this session will focus on problem solving as well as doubt clearing, right? So whatever the numerical problems will be there in the particular week based on the content, so that will be solved here step by step every week. And then the theoretical questions, first the students will participate, will try to answer some of the the answers, like there will be a kind of MSQ and MCQ, that is multiple choice as well as multiple select. So I will dictate which of these questions those are, so then students can try to answer those questions accordingly, and then finally I will explain the correct answer as well as the what is the reason of those things. So then third is the any queries or doubts from the particular week's content, that also you can ask at the end of the session, right? So then let's get started. So the first question is obviously a theoretical question. So it is very fundamental question. So the question is the main objective of transportation is, right? So maybe if anyone wants to answer, he can answer in the chat box. Then maybe I will start discussing this, right? So maybe you have some 30 seconds to answer, and then maybe I will try to discuss the answers. Mm. So okay. So the correct answer would be the fourth one, that is option D. So it is the objective of the transportation system is to provide safe, economical as well as efficient transport of goods as well as passengers. So the transportation system is not only focused on passengers or commuters, but also it is focused on goods. So it is not only the people's movement but also the goods movements, because that is the important aspects of the transportation system, which is called freight transportation systems, right? So then the why it is safe. So people need a safer transportation systems, right? So if you want to travel in a road, so you don't want to travel on the road, on a particular stretch of road where like frequency of accident is very high, right? You won't be feel comfortable and as well as safe. So you need a safe transportation systems. Also it has some adverse effect also. If it is not safe, then it may uh, results in then jams on that particular road, then travel time related cost will be high, and the injury and the life cost is also involved. So there are many adverse effects are there, so our transportation system should be safe. So the second one is why it should be economical. So here there could be two aspects of it. So first is, if you considered as a transportation systems like a public transportation systems like a bus or a metro, so your out of pocket cost or the fare should be not minimal, but I would rather say it is optimal, so that people of different sections can use this service for the movement from a particular place to another place, right? So then another is one aspect is based on the whole transportation systems aspect. So it is the what is the optimal, like what is the return against the possible investment using public money, right? So suppose you have a well connected road, so the government is spending money, right? Then also for maintenance also government is spending money. Then if you want to provide a public transportation system like a bus or metro, so there are a lot of cost involved in it, right? So based on that, what are the benefits? So one of the thing is that people are giving fare, right? So that is what government is receiving at their end. But also there are many non-tangible aspects are there, right? So it's like there are environmental benefits, less pollution. So then there are faster travel time, so that your job opportunity increases in the urban area. So there are many societal as well as environmental benefits. So what is the overall return of that particular investment, right? So then efficient. So here in case of transportation systems, so there are mainly two types of things that a transportation systems is offering. First is mobility, second one is accessibility, right? So efficiency in terms of mobility can be termed as like you want a better speed. If you have a good built road network, then if you want to go from a particular place A to B, then if your travel speed will be higher, then your efficiency of the whole transportation system gets higher, right? So then in terms of accessibility, what is the point? So if a certain parcel of land like a rural village, so if it is not well connected to the particular main road, so we will come to the classification of roads in the later on. But here if you say there is a main road and there is a village and the village road is not well connected, maybe there is no concrete or no bituminous road is there, it's a normal, right? So then like what is efficiency? Then whatever mode you are using, suppose you are using cycle, that is also not convenient for you for reaching to the main road, so that you can go for a place A to place B, so it is inefficient. Another example could be, suppose you have a metro station, right? So if you have a metro station, so you want to reach to the metro station by convenient modes, right? So suppose you have like auto service is running on, so if you don't have roads from your home to your metro station, or if you don't have the auto service is running, right? So then your whole journey is kind of inefficient, it is not efficient. So right, so the correct answer of this question should be D. So then the next question is, what type of transport mode is car? So generally there are two types of mode in transportation we can consider. First one is motorized transport. So in the motorized transport there are two wheelers, there are four wheelers, there are like in the four wheeler jeep, vans, SUVs, like then buses, then your trucks, then those are the things. And then the non-motorized transport modes, it's like cycle, your cycle rickshaws, bicycles, right? So those are the non-motorized modes. So the car comes under what? Motorized mode, then obviously. So then third option is rapid transit mode. So what is rapid transit mode? So basically, as the term rapid suggests, so it's a faster movement, right? Faster travel. So you can consider regional rail service as a rapid transit mode, as well as metro you can consider as a rapid transit mode, because there are no interruption, there is a one line and metro is going, so metro is always faster than many other competing modes which applies on basically on the roads, right? So then also in case of bus, if you know, there is a concept called bus rapid transit system, which is a dedicated lane has been given to the bus so that only buses are running. So in India also there are a couple of BRTS system. One of the famous BRTS system is BRTS Ahmedabad, right? So then let's go to the third. So here I just show those different modes and what are the basically these modes what I just discussed. So then which of the following is not a type of highway in India? So generally roads are divided in India, in majority of the roads are divided into two categories. First one is urban roads and second one is rural roads. Right? So then the urban roads according to the Indian Road Congress classifications. So there are expressways, then the arterial roads, then the sub-arterial roads, then the collector streets and the local streets. Right? So how those are classified? What I have discussed previously, that the main focus of the transportation system is to provide mobility and accessibility. So based on mobility and accessibility, actually this classification has been done. So expressways are having highest mobility, right? Because you can travel faster through expressways, right? But your accessibility will be somewhat on the lower side, right? Because it is expressway, so buses should not stop, or the like your mobility is fast, right? So then accordingly, local street, the accessibility will be higher, because local street means the whatever we say, the not on the roads but the like in the residential, if you come out of the house, which are the street you are using, that's a kind of local street, right? So that you can access any time and anywhere, but the mobility will be less. So then in case of rural roads, there are national highways, then the state highways, then the major district roads to connect different districts, then the other district roads, and finally the village roads. So now this is also based on those same concepts, and what is not a type of highway. So now the correct answer would be subarterial. Subarterial is a type of urban roads. It's not a rural road. So highway basically refers to the rural roads, right? In India. So then also this border roads comes under village roads. So it is also a type of highway. So then what is the main objective of providing the pedestrian facility? So the correct answer would be what? To minimize the pedestrian conflict, A would be the correct answer. So why it is so? So why are you providing pedestrian facility on a road? Suppose you have a urban road. So why are you trying to provide a pedestrian facility? To minimize the traffic conflicts? No, because traffic conflicts generally means that the vehicle to vehicle conflict. So that is not the main objective. So then to minimize the traffic on road, so if you provide a pedestrian facility, so how it will account for the minimizing of traffic? So it is not possible. So C also is not the correct option. So then the D is to maximize the pedestrians on road. So it is not the objective to maximize the pedestrian on roads, right? So it is the safer, it is the like pedestrians should feel safe while crossing a road or while going through along the road. Like suppose if you don't segregate your traffic and your pedestrian, then pedestrian will fear of going through the road, because of the obvious reasons, because of the like if it is urban like a arterial road, if you don't have sufficient pedestrian facility along the road, then pedestrian would feel unsafe, right? So the main objective is to minimize the pedestrian conflicts. So then the next question is the width requirement of the sidewalk. So what is the sidewalk? Sidewalk is the pedestrian facility that is given along a road, right? So if you have a facility and along a road you have two sidewalks, right? So that is the sidewalk. And the crossing is called the crosswalk, right? When if you have an intersection and the people try to cross, so that is a crosswalk, right? So the width requirement is obviously depends on pedestrian flow. So basically it is designed for the pedestrians. So if your pedestrian flow is more and your sidewalk width is less, because width represents the capacity of the particular stretch, right? Particular stretch of sidewalk. So then it is inefficient. Pedestrian won't be able to cross conveniently and safely, right? So it is not traffic flow. It is not both. It does not depend on climatic condition. Right? So it will be pedestrian flow. The answer would be B. So this is determine the mean, median and mode using this data set, right? So then what is mean and what is median? Mean is nothing but the average. That is summation of all the numbers by the total number of observations, right? Summation of n, like summation of xn by n, whatever in mathematical terms, right? So mean, what you do, you just add all those numbers, and because there are, I think, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, so you just add them up and divide it by 10, you will get the mean, right? So here mean will come out to be, if you calculate, it will come out to be 5.67, right? So then the median, so the median would be, if you uh, rearrange this data in a ascending order from, like, the lowest here value is 4, I believe it is 4, right? So 4 to at the highest value is 8. So 4 to 8, if you order it in a ascending order, right? If you rearrange it in a ascending order, then what is the mid position? It is not the average but the mid position of the value that determines the median. So here if you rearrange, so there are 10 data points, right? So it median will be the average of the two values that are in mid position, so within fifth and sixth position, because if you have 1 2 3 4 4 points, then 5 6, then 7 8 9 10, 4 points, so equal 4 4 8 points, and the 10 points is mid 2 points, right? So if you take the average of those 2 points, whatever the value is, so that position is the median, right? So now here if you arrange from 4, then I think it is again 4 is not reoccurring, I believe, no. Then 4, then 4.2 is the second position, 4.5 is the third position, then I think fourth position is 5, and sixth position is also 5, seventh position is also 5, right? So your median would be 5, because you have 3 5s here, 5 then 5 then 5, so it is occurring 3 times, and its position is fifth and sixth and also 4 4 5 6, right? So 5 6, if you take two numbers 5 5 10 and then take the average by 2, that is 5, so your median would be also 5. So then what is mode? Mode is nothing but the number which is occurring highest times. So here 4 is occurring only one time, right? 5 is occurring 3 times, 8 is occurring 2 times. So if you see here 5 is occurring 3 times, so it is at most in case of this data set, so the mode will be 5. So now you can see the C is the correct option, mean is 5.67, median is 5, also the mode is 5, right? So then the next question is, which of the following is true about regression analysis, right? So basically, first option is answering yes or no questions regarding the data or about the data. So basically, generally this is a kind of binary thing, 0 and 1. 0 is false, 1 is true, right? Right. So it's a classification problem. So like if you are receiving a mail, then it is spam or not spam. It's like that. So it's a yes or no question. So it's not regression. It is a rather classification problem. So then second option is estimating the numerical characteristics of the data. So basically numerical characteristics means, if you have a data set, what is the mean, what is the mode, what is the median, what is the count, what is the frequency, then what is the minimum of that data set, what is the maximum value of the data set, those things, right? Even the standard deviations and those things. So that is called descriptive statistics of the data. So it is not also the regression. Last one is, I am skipping the third one because it's a regression. So the last one is describing the association within the data, right? So generally in machine learning it is called association rule mind. So how it is describing the association? Is it like generally if someone is going at a shop and he wants to buy tea, then generally he buys milk with tea and also generally he buys biscuits. So there is a association with of milk and biscuit with tea. So this is actually called association rule mining. So this is actually describing the association within the data, right? So then the third option is, which is the correct option. Sorry, I forget to give the ABCD options here. So then it is modeling relationships within the data, right? So like it's not a classification problem, but if you have a variable like a dependent variable y, so suppose uh, your y is dependent on x1, x2, x3, x4, right? So in case of transportation, like speed along a horizontal curve, suppose. So maybe it can depend on the geometric characteristics, the width, maybe it can depend on the acceleration of the vehicle, then maybe it depends on the side distance. So those are x1, x2, x3 and so on, right? So what is the relationship between y and x? So if you have a one variable, so then it can be a linear regression, y is equal to mx plus c. If it is not, then it may be m1x plus m2x plus c and so on, right? So this is called a regression analysis. So I think that's all for this today's session. If you have any queries, you can ask, or otherwise we can wrap up the session. So maybe I will wait for 30 seconds, then maybe we can close the session, right? So thank you.